Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trades. We got through the bonus buck sale yesterday, drove a lot of volume on a lot of products and less so on some others. So I want to go through the Sword and Shield era boxes today, take a look at them, and I kind of joked that we recently went through the most anemic and sad and pathetic bear market on Sword and Shield boxes as Scarlet and Violet era boxes were getting the reprints into the market. And so now that we're past that and we're past the bonus buck sale, let's go take a look at how things are going and see where maybe we're going to end up in a little while. So, Sword and Shield base set, box one. So, on the 6 month plots here, we'll kind of see this anemic bear market. And on some of these products, you won't really see it. Some of them skipped the whole bear market, some of them actually went down. Most of them kind of went sideways, and it's kind of in this range here. And so it still went up on very, very low volume. In fact, you can see several weeks in a row. It's like a 4 week gap here where no boxes of this sold. It's an old product. It's never been particularly loved, but it's done well in recent history. Just a year ago, 280, and today 460. So yeah, up about 60% in the last year. Very, very low sales. And if we look at yesterday, May 16th, yeah, only one box sold during the bonus buck sale. So not a big mover, 20 in the market and 9 sold in the last month. So not a lot going on with this one. And this one really predated all of the hysteria and the craziness of 2020 and 21 and on and on. Rebel Clash box 2. So if we look at 6 months here, yeah, it pretty much skipped the whole bear market, but it's because the volume is so low. On the 6 month chart, only 72 boxes sold in the last 6 months. Now, here's the wild thing. 12 in the market, only one sold yesterday on the bonus bucks sale. But man, 72 in the last 6 months and 12 in the market. So not a lot of time left for this before it starts to see some really ridiculous gaps up. And this is the thing that happens when the volume gets very low and the supply gets very low, is the sellers just, well, price discovery breaks down, and that hurts both sides of the transaction. You don't really know what they're going for, and so the sellers don't really know what the market can bear. So it's not all rainbows for sellers where they're able to just price stuff at any value and people will pay it. They have to kind of guess what the price is when eventually you're getting down to where the sales are so rare. Now, this is probably just lost data on TCG players' part. They still have some bugs in their graphing software. Darkness Ablaze. And so now we're just kind of getting into that era of craziness. $250. Now, there we go. You can see how this line gets pretty shallow there in the middle part. That was the bear market. So this one just kind of slowed down on the bear market as we were getting reprints of Scarlet and Violet era boxes. Last 6 months, 225 sold, 27 available in the market. And what did it sell during bonus bucks yesterday? 10 during the bonus bucks. Very nice. So yeah, that'll cause a pretty decent spike. Market price went from 218 to 230. Okay, not bad. Yeah, not a lot left, only 27 in the market. And if we take out the 10 that sold yesterday, there were otherwise 22 sold in the last month. Yep, very, very rare. Now, Vivid Voltage. This was the second to last Sword and Shield era box to go out of stock on Pokemon Center earlier this year. $212 today once you add in the shipping. Of course, it was $144 right as it was going out of stock on Pokemon Center. And you can see, well, yeah, it kind of skipped over that bear market. The line got a little shallower. You can see in this range, the line is shallower, and in this range before it, it's steeper. So those reprints kind of slowed down the sale of these older boxes. 368 sold in the last 6 months, 110 in the market today. And yesterday during the bonus bucks sale, 26 sold. Okay, that's all right, but still plenty left in the market. And like I said, these were still available on Pokemon Center even as recently as about 4-5 months ago. So don't expect a lot from this relative to the rest of Sword and Shield. Number 5, Battle Styles 210 today. This was the final one to go out of stock on Pokemon Center. And in the last 6 months, 609 sold, only 120 in the market right now. And yesterday during bonus bucks, 57. Nice. So if we take that out, otherwise there are about 80 sold in the last month, and there's 120 in the market today. So about 6 weeks of depth currently listed in the market. So, obviously we'd see a lot more come to market, but maybe this hits 230, 240 by the end of summer. But again, I'm not expecting a lot from this. You expect these older boxes to kind of slow down in their ascent and then get on the kind of gradual track to aiming towards that 15 to 25 to 30% per year that we kind of expect out of Pokemon long term. Chilling Rain, SW06, and we're looking at 440. Oh man, I wish we could go back in time and show the people in late 21 and early 22 who are screeching at us not to buy these worthless Chilling Rain boxes for $85 delivered to our house. I wish we could show them, man. And let's see, 470 in the last 6 months sold through, 98 remaining in the market. And see, this is one that actually came down. The price was very high, so it could sustain a little bit of pullback. And so it came down, let's see, 342, and then it bottomed out somewhere around here. We'll call that 304. All right, so it gave up about $38, and now it's back $140 higher. So, this is something I kind of try to explain to people from time to time. It's that when markets temporarily turn into bear markets, we don't get sad. Yeah, it goes down a little bit, but look at what's happened since this bear market ended. And it just started flying back up on the back of the supply being way too low. So yesterday on the bonus bucks sale, 47 sold. And if we take that out of the 1 month snapshot, we get about 60 remaining, and we've got 100 in the market. So, less than 2 months of supply in the market right now. We're going to have any gaps here? 460. No, not a lot. Goes up to 500 after a little while. Yeah, maybe we'll see 500 in 2 months. Maybe something like that. Number 7, Evolving Skies, the undisputed powerhouse juggernaut. When I do my long-term Pokemon booster box price videos, this one shows something like 80 or 90 or 100% compound annual growth rate since its release. It's so unbelievable, and it's always the question in my mind, like, when does this one stop flying up so fast? And the annual returns after that start to moderate to something reasonable like 20 or 25% per year instead of 80 or 100% per year. But here we are, $2,000 for the box. 255 in the last 6 months, 238 in the market, and yesterday on bonus bucks it only sold 1. Yeah. That's a little surprising. I guess I should expect with the $50 cap on cashback on any single item that's not going to lure many people to spend $2,000, especially for the folks who have to pay sales tax on this stuff. So, when you're looking at another, golly, $160 of sales tax on top of this, then the $50 discount for bonus bucks just suddenly isn't that interesting. And what about gaps? What do the gaps look like in this market? Packs from sealed product, yep, so there's lots of those. Okay, when we get to actual sealed boxes, not a lot of gaps. Yeah, still a while before we hit 2,100, and then the next box is 2,400. So there are your gaps, but they're way out there, quite a ways. Yeah, I could see this still being in the low 2,000s at the end of this year. It's probably just not going to move that fast because nobody wants to buy it at this point. There's not a lot of interest in opening a $2,000 box when there are a lot of other substitutes in the market. Number 8, Fusion Strike. I was having some problems with this graph earlier. Refreshed the page a bunch of times. It's frustrating to me as someone who has been a software engineering manager for many years to see these kind of software issues from a company that's essentially a software company. Get it together, TCG player. So we can see the bear market on this. Yes, it just moved sideways for a while, and then all of the Scarlet and Violet reprints got eaten up, and the Scarlet and Violet market started marching back up, and people came back over here and said, you know, I guess I'll just take me some more Fusion Strike. So what did it end that bear market at? About 485, and today the market price is 722. My God. We're talking almost $250, $240 of movement upwards in the last 3 weeks. Again, this was one of the most hated boxes of 2021 and 22 when the market was flooded with product. And these boxes were available at such cheap prices, low 90s, delivered to your house. And here we are today, the cheapest box is $850. Where are all those closets full of boxes ready to pour out onto the market and pour cold water on the prices? We keep waiting and they keep not showing up. $255, by the way, I was being facetious. I don't actually believe there are closets full of these ready to come out and destroy the market. Other people do. I do not. I follow the data. 225 sold in the last 3 months, 151 in the market. And if we take, wow, the bonus buck sale only sold 2 boxes. And if we take, otherwise, about 70 for the month, so about 2 months of supply. Yeah, maybe we'll see $1,000 by the end of the year. Hard to say. Hard to say if we'll get all the way there as more boxes come in, as more and more people with these put away say, you know, I think I'll finally take my profit on this one, my 10x that I made on Fusion Strike, and they decide to start slowly pulling out some boxes, putting them into the market. Maybe through that, we'll hit 1,000 by the end of the year. I would be pretty happy when I make my victory lap video for the end of the year if I can show this at $1,000. Brilliant Stars, another one that we could all forget was so hated in its own time. So widely available, so cheap. Man. And here we are today, $435. Again, here was the bear market. It went flat for a while Scarlet and Violet reprints came in, and then it flew back up. Last 6 months, 500 boxes sold, 133 left in the market. All right. And on the bonus bucks sale, 20 boxes sold at an average price of $435. Man. So if we take those 20 out, there were 120 otherwise, so barely a month of supply in the market today. Got any good gaps coming? No, not really. Gets up to 470 after a while, eventually makes 500. So yeah, maybe we see 600 by the end of the year. Astral Radiance, Sword and Shield number 10, $430. And again, you see that we just kind of went sideways on the product for a little while it became less popular than the current Scarlet and Violet reprints. 6 month snapshot, 340 boxes, 120 in the market today. Yesterday, sold 11. Man. So wow, there's actually a solid 2 months of supply of this in the market. And yeah, some pretty decent gaps. Well, we get up, let's see. No, never mind. I take it back. We're at about 430, and we stay there. We hit 500 after a couple dozen boxes. So I wouldn't expect, I don't know. Man, it's going to be a real contention because, again, there probably are more of these boxes still out there, but whether they will come to the market fast enough to keep us from getting $500, $600, $800 by the end of the year, hard to say. Lost Origin, number 11, $550. 730 sold in the last 6 months, and today there's a mere 200 left in the market. And yesterday it sold 24. Okay, so about 110 otherwise. So just short of 2 months of supply in the market. And compared to the current 540, you know, when there's a lot of these other things of basically 36 booster pack lots, that really does create some competition in the market. So it can be that that will slow down for a lot of these products where they're still widely available in booster pack lots. It keeps the booster boxes from going up as fast because, hey, here's a cheaper alternative, a substitute right there. So not too many boxes, and we hit 590s and 600 point. We could see 600 in a month on this, yeah. Given the given this last month's sell-through rate, absent the bonus buck sale from yesterday, definitely we could see 600 by the end of the month on this. And Silver Tempest, finally number 12, $364. Of course, this went out of stock on Pokemon Center. Let's see, it was sometime late November, early December of 2024. It was $144 per box up till then, and now it's up 150%. 700 boxes in the last 6 months, 180 left in the market. Man, 23 sold yesterday on the bonus buck sale, and yeah, lots of booster pack lots there. 360s, 370s, and into 400 after not too many boxes. So yeah, I think there's a good chance that we run through another 100 boxes of this. Wow, man. So just in a couple of months, I would definitely expect to see 500 on this product. That is wild. One of the investors that works with me on Final Trade, he bought a lot of this at 144 right before it went out of stock on Pokemon Center. So man, wild times. Wild to see how much this appreciates, how quickly it appreciates, and how negative some voices on YouTube still are about these products, despite the incredible ascent of their prices in the mere couple of years since they've gone out of print and Scarlet and Violet era started. And yet you have people who will still be so negative and will still claim that not only can this not happen, but it can't happen again in the future. Wild times, guys. I have some viewers and some patrons who have been with me for a long time, for many years, and it's great when they message me and I talk with them about it, because the guys who have lived through the 21, 22, 23 era with me and we're coming along, we're buying along with me, we're buying along with the Friday seal deals, with the bonus buck sales at the time, with the incredible prices, and then just seeing 2, 3, 4, 8, 10x returns on some of this stuff in just a couple of short years. It's just so wild to watch it and to think that there are people who believe it can't happen after we've sat here and we've watched it happen over the last 4 years. Just what a crazy market to be in. What an exciting and hilarious and ridiculous market to have a business in and to be a part of every day. It's so awesome, and I always look forward to the future of it. So yeah, Sword and Shield, as predicted, is doing really well. I put that on my Friday seal deals for the bonus bucks yesterday, that all Sword and Shield was underpriced and was still a buy at these prices. And you saw those legs up on the market price charts for all those products as it went through the bonus buck sale yesterday, and all of them gapped up bit by bit as people bought through them. And that's the future. These are rare collectibles that people destroy for fun, and it's hard to get that through to some people. And for some people, they hear it and they say, oh yes, that is profound, that will have an incredible effect on supply and demand, and thus price going forward into the future. So look, guys, Sealed Sale 17 was this past Thursday night. It was the DM22 collector factory sealed boxes. It was the highest grossing sealed sale yet in Final Trade history, so thanks to everybody who was a part of that. Everything is shipped out, and everything from the bonus buck sale has been shipped out. Man, what a wild time. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially all my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.